right now on Chronicle in high definition.
A horse whisperer goes through his paces.
Now he's connected with me. He's walking when I walk. He's trotting when I trot.
Big part in Massachusetts past and present as well. Everything from polo to trail riding, therapeutic equitation to rodeo. The whole host of equine activities taking place all over the state.
Good boy.
This intricate dance is the result of a lot of work, a lot of trust, and a lot of healing from Ray Hackett. He's working with Skazka, a horse once considered untrainable, but who now follows every subtle instruction. Hackett practices natural healing at Great Oak Farm in Berlin, a real-life horse whisperer.
Skazka, Skazka.
He works with horses that have been mistreated, abused, or in some way have lost their trust in humans.
I'm going to ask him to come over to me for a minute so I can just talk to him for a second and just let him know I want him to relax. That's a boy.
Slowly, patiently, he teaches them to trust again.
And eventually, the horse is, instead of running away from me, he's turning in front of me. He's taking a step towards me. He's stopping when I ask him to. I approach him. He's not backing away. Now he's connected with me. He's walking when I walk. He's trotting when I trot. Change again. That's a boy. It's okay. It's all right.
Hackett has been
I'm gonna ask
working
him to
with
stop.
horses his whole life and says his success in healing them is the result of a unique gift, an ability to communicate through something he calls picture talking.
If I was going to put a horse on a horse trailer, I would literally see the horse walking onto the trailer, driving, pulling up to, like for instance, if the horse was coming here, I would show them what this place looks like, show them all the horses, show them where they're going to be. And then suddenly I'll get the big deep breaths, the releases, the little nudges that just quietly tell me, I got that. And suddenly they get on the trailer. They get off the trailer when they get here and they look around and then they look at me like, wow, you were telling me the truth.
It's a gift he was once reluctant to discuss for fear of ridicule. But other horse healers describe a similar process. This horse, Angel, was also troubled, even dangerous to riders.
Go ahead and go into a little trot just by getting a little closer and moving. That's a very good boy. So I try to keep
The
my
proof
eye on him
ultimately
when I'm
is in the results. Hackett's devotees say he performs miracles, and the more he heals, the more they come.
It's mostly been word of mouth. I don't usually advertise, so it's one person says, oh, you're not going to believe what he just did with this horse, and they come here and I'll give them a little example of what the horses should be able to do and look like, and the phone keeps ringing and the horses keep coming.
Is truly a partnership.
Chronicle.
And a happier viewer comment came from a local user called Charts, who wrote, "The show on horses was very nicely done. I especially enjoyed watching the horse whisperer, Ray Hackett. He truly is a miracle worker with these fine animals. I've seen him in person doing what he does best, and it is truly amazing to watch. Thank you for such a great show."
Actually got a call from Ray today. He's heard from people in Nova Scotia and as far away as Oregon who maybe want help with their horses.
Wow,
It's quite a testament, isn't it?
He was good. No question.
And that's Chronicle for tonight. Thanks very much for joining us. I'm Anthony Everett.
And I'm Mary Richardson. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Research all over the...
You're going to get them wound up?
No, this is gum rubbing. This is a Linda Tillington-Jones thing that gets horses to relax a little bit. That's how we build trust, is acupressure points inside their mouths, and that when you hit a certain spot, and once they've done this to a horse once, they love it. First time you go to do this, they look at you like,
what are you doing? Huh?
Yeah.
Let me up.
And then they realize
fight
that you can get them to huge deep breaths, you can get yawns, all things that are big.
Steven, go pat the horse.
To hang on to. He,
You know you love it.
see how it was on his face there, he's got those, all this stuff going on.
Ray?
His father
Ray?
on the Preakness. Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, he was a racehorse, huh?
He was, yeah. He didn't do so well. His father did. His father won a lot of stuff. He wasn't meant to do all this. And this is a horse that, when I first came here, nobody but me could put him out and get my shoulder ripped off. You couldn't walk up to him like you all at the house. Nothing to do with humans. Only like he'd come to you when it was time to eat. You had to be the last horse in. Rob was the only other one that we'd go right after Rob, but anybody else is like, oh God.
Shaker!
Go to let him go.
Shaker!
Oh,
Sit! Stay. Sit. No. I'm on camera. Sit, Shaker. Sit. Oh, what a pretty girl. Oh, she's a pretty girl. Okay, down.
Acupressure point there. Now I brought back and forth. I can make your whole body feel so much better. Hey, you have a good, safe day, okay?
I will.
No more gravel hits downhill and blocks.
No bike today.
Okay. She works for a federal penitentiary. She's got motorcycles and horses. She's had a poop accident. And still, she fell off her bike yesterday. She's like, I can't tell my mother.
Now that's Angel, right?
This is Angel, yeah. When they get older, they think that even more.
It's all right.
Couldn't touch his ears.
Yeah.
You want to go by, honey?
All of this stuff, all from...
Huh? Okay.
Right.
They were immobilized horses.
What? I keep forgetting your first name.
Yeah.
Brenna?
Yeah, because they've got a...
How's your husband doing? Good?
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Yeah?
You don't want to touch it, but you just do a
Not a fat.
relaxation thing.
Good.
Yeah. That's good.
It's good.
Right,
And
right.
my energy can't change.
You're going to go riding, huh?
Yeah. One right
People
up
that
there.
have a bad intention
Yeah.
about doing something,
That's good.
give off an energy.
Be careful.
Pick up on just like dogs. And that's one of the things I want to do. What are you doing?
Going for a ride.
She doesn't know. She's clueless. I'm going in there. Will you?
No, I'm going to go around.
Come on in, sir.
There's the ring.
It's a low overhead there. They got a duck.
I have no idea how good it's going to be, but
Go ahead.
Shagan.
usable.
Shagan. Come here. Yeah, I know. It looks it.
Shaken out. I don't know if you can get closer actually.
Move here.
Go ahead. I got... Oh, she's all right. She's fine.
So with this guy, just like with all horses, all I do is, almost everything has to do with pressure and releases of pressure. So when I start off with horses, this is a rope halter. It's a kind of a cowboy halter. It's different than your standard one because all the pressure points, when you go to, he would brace something fierce. If I first got him and I sort of put pressure like this,
Hey!
instead of him dropping his head down, he would fight and brace and brace and brace, and that's what happens when they become defensive over time. So one of the first things I do with these guys is get a soft feel so that I can just put the lightest little pressure and he should be able to bring his head right down. And he has to be able to do it all the way down to the ground, just like that. And even that in itself kind of takes away that defensive mode that they can get into. So you're already like checking in and letting you know that you want to call the shot. Hey, out, you, out. So like to move his backside, if he was sitting on him, you brought your leg back here, putting pressure, physical pressure like that, you'd ask him to move his hind end over. So he just did. And as soon as he moved it, I released the pressure. But then there's this kind of pressure too, with just, physical, like just the way you would walk up to somebody in a mall. Someone's going to move, but if you do this, chances are they're going to move. But if you do one of these things, and you watch that happen all the time, and it's the same thing with these guys, where you put pressure on. If I have my eye on him, I'm putting more pressure than if I want to approach him. This was a horse that, like, for 4 years, when the people that owned him had him, they could never walk up to him in the field and say, "Hi, how are you?" And the first time she ever did, she came back over, like, in tears, going, "I don't know what the hell happened, but he actually let me say hi to him." I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's what," and that in itself was another small release from the stuff I was doing earlier. And then, like, for instance, to ask him typically to back up, you put pressure, physical pressure, like this on the halter.
Right.
He backs up, I release the pressure. After you start to work with him, you want a softer feel where he's listening to my body language backing up, but he's being very reluctant. I don't know if it's just because of his footing. You should be able to just back up just because my body language is
right.
So I'm shaking. Stay out of here, you little monkey. So I'm just going to let him go, send him off, and just show you how, like, with my body language, I can get him to change directions, to move away from me, to go into from a walk to a trot to a canter, back down to a trot just from what I do. Right there, sir. I'm going to bring him.
Will he come right up? Oh, gee.
So you take the halter off. You used to bolt off like lightning, and now this is, you know, the extent of it. So now I'm going to back away and ask him to move off. And just by letting him know with this shoulder and my hand going in that direction that obviously I want him to go off to the left, and he'll just stay walking until I put more pressure. And what I want to do is kind of stay at the apex of the triangle that we create, him being the base, draw a line from his nose to me and his butt to me. As long as I'm right here, I'm in control of what I'm asking him to do. So by getting a little bit closer to him, like right now, he's choosing to go off into a trot without me doing it. Could have been the dog, could have been them, but all I had to do was change my position and come out in front of him, which let him know that, nope, I don't want you doing that yet. So now I'm going to back up, get behind him to ask him to walk off again, give him a little bit of pressure. Then if I want him to go into a trot, I just go a little closer to him like that. That's me asking him to do that. I don't really need a driving aid at the moment, but so now I just have to stay right here at this place and just stay at that apex of the triangle, keeping my eye on his eye. You can see his tongue coming out of his mouth already. He's already licking and chewing a little bit. When you first start working with horses, they don't lick and chew, which means they're not ready to cooperate. He's pretty much all ready. And this, as you can see, is a little deep in here. It's a little hard. I can pick his trot up by just moving a little differently. If I want him to go into a canter, I just get a little closer, lift my hand up. Brings him right into a canter. I'm just going to keep my drive. If I want him to back down to the trot, I just take off my pressure. If I want him to come to a halt, I come out in front of him and ask him to turn and face me. All just from like where I'm standing. Now he's licking and chewing. What he's doing right there, that's another passive sign that he's already like basically willing to cooperate with me. Torpin, you need to get out there, sir.
Come here,
and I'm going to ask him to go off to the right by just moving off to the left.
Call the dog.
We're going to focus on that shoulder to make him move his front end over just a little bit. Just like that. And then away from me.
Torpin, come on. Come here.
No, Ray, don't do that. Don't do that. He'll leave. He'll leave. If you
Torpin, get out of here now.
let Raymond do it, Ray. Let Raymond.
Now.
Come on.
Shh, okay.
Get out of here.
That's a boy. So I can just use a little noise to get him to go a little faster. Just to pick up his pace a little bit. So my left hand is my driving hand. If I want him to go back into the canter, I just have to get closer and lift this hand. What a good boy. Just by keeping this hand up and my eye on him, enough to keep the cantering. Back down for one little second. He'll come right back down. If I don't do anything, he'll eventually stop.
Hey, you're gonna lose weight. Keep this up.
I am going to lose weight. There. And I just want him to stop. Now I want him to back up a little bit. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. So, just getting a horse to get connected into your head like that. What? That's good. This is something you couldn't, you wouldn't have been able to come back up to him and put this halter on him before. Now I have 6-year-old students that can take him in and out. And the whole point, once you get connected like that, you still want, to be able to ask him to walk with you, still want to stop and expect him to stop. See the licking and chewing when he says, yep, I got that. I get it. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy, yeah.
Now, are you getting Shaka for a while?
Skazka?
Skazka. This is Angel, right?
I will. I have no fear that comes out of my body anymore. A dog can still look at me and tell me that.
Right.
Don't move, and I'm like, I won't.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
And yet horses, they can come at me like they want to kill me, and I can just look at them, and they're like,
Right.
okay, I'm not coming near you. And I sit and they go, oh, good. And it worked again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's been a couple horses
Keep
once
going.
you, huh?
They keep going around.
Well, because if they've been abused, if
Yeah.
they've really had that, the human thing taken out of them and they become defensive and they just want to hurt humans, then it doesn't matter if I'm the nicest guy in the world. I found that out the hard way many times, that some horses have gone too far, and you can usually see. like horses that won't lick and chew, like for an hour, they're hanging on to something.
Oh, really?
And you really have to wait, because they figure out that you know their language.
Yeah.
If they're holding on and not looking at you, and their ears going in another direction, and there's no licking and chewing and no lowering their head, when they lower their head really far down, they're basically saying, I'll do anything for you at this point. So to get him to that, you have to be able to have him, for him to be able to turn in front of me like that and go across, that took a lot of trust.
So is that, it's an element of trust, it's not necessarily an element of submission, which I
That's
think...
Ray, don't bother. Ray, leave them alone, they're fine.
She'll lay down.
Want to control and rule the horse, you know, and abuse them. It's forcing a horse to submit to them. But you're working on a relationship of trust.
Right, they're doing it because they so-called have to, but they're not happy about it, and they're not doing it because they want to.
Right.
This way here, you have trust, and you have them connected in here, you can do anything with them, you know, from that point on.
Right.
And the worst...
It looks like it's about that deep.
I don't know.
Don't take half of it right out of this.
If you have any idea what we just went through, I even just
get
said
it
that.
in there.
Oh no, it's supposed to all pack down.
It's
not packing.
It doesn't have, clay or whatever needs to be in there.
Well, that's exactly what I had said. Like, I've always built, which is a combination of sand and clay. I'm really cautious that he's an unfixed male.
Yeah.
He's been acting a little bit funny about her lately. I know that he's either dying for her to come in.
Right.
You know.
Well, just the whole costume that they're doing right now.
Yeah, this is common. They play these little games all the time. And she just drops down and she's a whiner. If you just touch her, you know, even though nothing, but she's been hurt before.
The trailer's turning around and everything just set it way down.
Oh, really?
Watch the dog, Ray. Come on, Shaga. Come on, Shaga. Shagan. If I say it enough, you'll hear it on the thing. Shagan is the name. And the horse's name is? Skazka.
I know, it's a little confusing.
It is very confusing. I can't, I am your mother, but it's confusing.
No, my horse. He's a thoroughbred that belongs to a veterinarian who's an animal behaviorist, who actually is responsible for me being on a couple other websites for animal behavior. I'm one of the first horse people that was on this one that I still have to do a voiceover. When the guy was here taping me from Minnesota, there was planes going by, and I'm talking, all you hear is and I'm like, oh, God. Shagan, get out of here.
Oh, that guy from the University of Minnesota or something?
Dr. Schultz or whatever. Like she can demonstrate what I was talking about with the whole softness of just being able to do this and never back up.
Yeah.
Huh, sweetheart. She also is a mare who's, she's in heat. She's 23 years old. She's one of the reasons why I learned a lot of this stuff. I'm not going to rub her gums because my hands are filled.